Nawr, da ni'n hoffi cael cipolwg ar ambell i chwaraewr cyn y gêm. Pwy yw gwylio? Dyma ddewis Jake. Pan felly, Jake? Callum Bradley.
Ie, ar ôl cael cyfle chwarae efo fo flwyddyn dwytha. Dwi'n meddwl bod o jyst yn un o'r chwaraewr mor werthfawr sydd gan garfan. Fatha Quay Connah yma hynna, maen nhw'n ffodus i gael o. Nath o greu argraff da iawn arno fi tymor dwytha. 24 ymddangosiad, 4 fel eilydd ac yn creu nifer o goliau iddyn ni tymor dwytha. Ac mae o'n gallu chwarae mewn amrywiaeth o safle, a dwi'n siŵr bod Neil Gibson yn falch bod gen fo rhywun fath o fo.
A Nick Rushton, dyma chi enw cyfarwydd yn y gyngrair yma. Pa fath argraff mae fe wedi greu yn y lle?
Ac o beth tebyg ers i fi chwarae efo fo ac yn erbyn o, mae'n creu cyn gymaint o cyfleon i'w hunain ac i'w tîm, ac fydd o'n gobeithio bod o'n gallu cael effaith ac sgorio'r gol gyntaf yma ers spel.
Yn erbyn i gyn glwb heno hefyd, Alex McInch yw'r gŵr yn y canol. A'r dyfarnwr o'r swyddogion yn gwisgo di i gyd. Yn teimlo'n iawn rhywsut yn y byd pêl-drod. A'r dyfarnwr yn y canol yn rheoli pethau. Ble bydden ni hebddyn nhw? Quay Connah yn ail, na le maen nhw ar hyn o bryd. Ond maen nhw 7 pwynt ôl y Seintiau Newydd. Cofiwch, cyfle heno i gau'r bwlch yna, tu ar brig. A cyfle i'r ymwelwyr o'r Drenewydd. Agor rhyw fwlch fach rhyngddyn nhw a'r ddau waelod. A mae'r clybiau yna'n cwrdd fori, fel ni wedi sôn, Ebus yn erbyn Pontypridd. Gêm fawr i Jake yn amlwg?
Ie, yn sicr, dwi'n meddwl yn y gyngor yma mae bob gêm yn fawr. Dim ots pwy ydych chi'n chwarae, ydych chi'n gwybod bod chi'n mynd i cael her. Ac gêm gartref, so mae hwnna'n bach o'n efantais ni, ond dwi'n siŵr fydd Pontypridd di paratoi yn gryf iawn ac yn edrych ymlaen am ei daith yma fyny fan hyn fori.
Peniad cynnar i'r capten y cawr, Horan i Quay Connah. Pwy sy'n gallu dechrau'r rheoli ar ddechrau'r gêm. A fel o'n i'n paratoi ddweud hynny, does neb yn rheoli'r bêl, mae allan am dafliad. Callum Roberts yn un arall yn erbyn ei gyn glwb. Cyfnod llwyddiannus fan hyn yng Quay Connah. Quay Connah yn y coch i gyd, nôl at y gŵr yn y gol. Firth sydd wedi creu gymryd o argraff ers ymuno o Rangers yn yr haf. Nôl ato fe, unwaith eto. A ddim ddechrau sygledig yw dymor ac yn ddechrau sygledig i dymor Quay Connah. Yn colli 2 o'i 3 gêm gyntaf. Yn y 2 oedd ei cartre gêm ei anodd Seintiau Newydd Met Caerdydd ers hynny, bobl bach. Maen nhw ar dan. Dyn nhw'n hoffi ildio goliau. Dyn nhw'n di ildio gartre yn y gyngrair ers mis Ionawr. Mae'n 12 gêm. Mae'n 19 awr a mwy. A dyna'r her i'r Drenewydd. Dewch i ni weld os ydyn nhw'n gallu bygwth hyd yn oed. Eiliadau agoriadol. O ran yn ôl yno unwaith eto. Bach yn fler yn y munudau agoriadol yma. A ni'n gweld, hyd yn oed yn y munudau cyntaf yma, Jake, chi'n gweld yr amddiffyn yn drefnus o ran Quay Connah. O'ch chi gyda hwn tymodretha hefyd, pa fath o reolwr yw Mr Gibson?
Andros o dda. Nes i wir mwynhau yn amser yn Flint flwyddyn dwytha, ac mae lot o hwnna oherwydd Neil Gibson. Y ffydd nath o ddangos yna fi, y hyder nath o roi iddi fi o rhan fy'n chwarae, ac dwi'n siŵr bod nifer o chwaraewr allan fan hyn wan yn dechrau teimlo hwnna gan efo. Dwi'n gwybod nath nhw golli 2 o'r 3 gêm gyntaf, ond ers hynny, ar ôl iddo ddechrau roi ei stamp ei hunain ar y garfan, mae pethau di newid a gwella yn heiddiannol o dda iddyn nhw.
Ar buddigoliaethau, bod tro maen nhw'n ennill, dyn nhw ddim yn ildio. Wel, dwi'n am yn anodd iawn, dyn nhw'n ildio llawer o beth. Ond mae pob buddigoliaeth, yw'r gwrthwynebydd ddim wedi llwyddo sgorio. Gan gynnwys penwythnos diwetha am Hen y Bont. Gol i ddim. Ac yn arbed cic o'r smotyn reit ar y diwedd hefyd. Os nag yw'r amddiffyn yn rhoistro chi, mae'r gol geidwad yn mynd i. A dyma nhw yn adeiladu o'r cefn, Quay Connah. Newydd at Williams. Felly golwg ar y bêl am eiliad, Aaron Edwards yn cystadlu am bopeth. 3 munud di mynd. Ni wedi clywed gan Chris Hughes cyn y gêm. Dechrau bler rhywun 10 dweud hynny.
Ie, yn sicr. Dwi'n meddwl fi neb o'r 2 rheolwr da ni wedi gweld hyd yma yn hapus sut maen nhw wedi ddechrau, ond weithiau mae gemau fel hyn yn cymryd 10 chwarter awr i'r gêm dechrau setlo, a wedyn rhywun dod allan ar dop os lyci di.
Tackle bwysig gan Ismail yn rhoi cyfle i'r dre newydd wrth ymosod. Rushton yn llithro. O, un ffordd i wneud i. Just tarannu'r bêl yn erbyn Aaron Edwards. Harrington i'r canol. Anthony Stratoulis yn dwyllodrus. Mae Cey Connah yn ceisio creu. O fe darodd i Hayes, ond y ffodus i gael y tafliad fan yna.
Ie, dwi'n meddwl oedd hwnna'n cyfle well na be gafon nhw yn y diwedd. Pêl yn disgyn i Aaron Edwards ar yr ochr chwith yma, ac oedd Hayes just isio pêl at ei draed, fel bod o'n gallu ymosod un yn erbyn Mills Evans, ac doedd y pêl ddim cweit digon da, ond ar ni gweld gwaith gwych yn canol Quay yn fanna o'r hogyn ifanc Stratoulis sydd wedi cael argraff da iawn ar y gyngrair hyd yma.
O, mae werth i weld, os chi ddim wedi gweld y gŵr ifanc sydd ar fenthyg o Tranmere, Ryan Stratoulis, 19 oed, chi'n mynd i fwynhau. Cey Connah yn cystadlu am bopeth, y tafliad yn un hir. Mae Sutton yn disgwyl amdani. Holmes. Harrington, gymaint o le gan Holmes, gymaint o grysau coch yn cywio am hon. Postyn pella cyfle, cynnar. George Horan, pwy arall, y capten yn hawlio cic gornel, dwi ddim i fod. Yn cip olwg bach ar y gol o ran Cey Connah.
A dyma peth hefyd, dwi'n meddwl, yn dilyn gemau ac y stamp oedd Andy Morrison wedi gadael ar y chwaraewr. Mae gennych chi lot o chwaraewr brofiadau oedd wedi chwarae o dan efo, ac maen nhw dal yn dilyn yr un strwythur. Ar ni gweld y tafliad hir yn dod fewn y fanna, y hogia gryf fyny ffrynt yn ceisio sgorio goliau, ac mae Neil Gibson wedi parhau yma yn Cey Connah, ac fydd hwnna o fydd iddo fo.
A dyma fe, Andy Morrison yn ôl yn gwylio. A methu cadw draw na go, jyst eisiau gwylio. O, bydd ddim yn apus bod George Horan di methu o na, bydd ddim yn tybio, oedd hwnna'n gyfle. Yn hen Andy Morrison. Oedd hi'n gyfle i bawb am hynny, oedd hwnna'n gyfle i George Horan, bydd yn siomedig?
Bydd yn siomedig bod o ddim wedi gwneud yn well, sy'n ni'n dweud. Dwi'n meddwl bod o'n cyfle gorau iddo fo sgorio, ond pan mae cyfleoedd fel na'n dod i fewn i'r cwrt Cosby, mae rhaid i'n dre newydd fod yn bach fwy dechrau pryderu bod hwnna'n digwydd mor fuan yn y gêm.
Achos, fel ni wedi sôn, os yw Cey Connah'n sgorio, chi mewn trwbl, achos nhw ddim yn hoffi ildio. Harrington, yn amlwg yn y munudau agoriadol yma. Gynt o'r seintiau newydd, chi'n gweld hynny yn ei ffordd o chwarae yn gyfforddus ar y bêl. A ni sôn am Andy Firth, y golgeidwad wrth y Rangers yn yr haf. 9 Llechen Lan yn barod. Wedi creu argraff, dim ymheuaeth am hynny. Dre newydd yn ceisio creu argraff. Ond dacl fach hwyr fyna, dyfanol ys y gair. Callum Roberts. Ddim yn sioc o Callum Roberts yn ei chanol i, Jake?
Na, unwaith mae'n dod nôl ar y cae, fel na ydi o. Ti'n gwybod, mae'n rhoi gant y cant i fan i bob dim, ac os yna neb yn mynd i newid o, dyna'n union fel mae o, ac fel na fydd o am 90 munud hena, allan ac yn beithio bod o'n gallu cael 3 pwynt i'w tîm.
Ar elfennau cystadleuol na wedi dal sylw Andy Morrison, sawl tymor yn ôl. Mae ddenu i Cey Connah nôl, dar dre newydd erbyn hyn. Firth ar gic hir, dre newydd yn barod amdani, ond ble mae'n ganio Stratoulis yn achosi problemau. Aaron Edwards yn mentro, Dave Jones yn gwylio ac yn gafel yn y bêl.
Ac unwaith eto oeddwn ni'n gweld yma na y pêl union gyrchol o golgeidwad fel dyn ni wedi arfer gweld dros sawl flynedd i Cey Connah, ac yn achosi problemau am ddiffyn dre newydd.
Cic ôl Iwi yn y pen draw. Yn dre newydd yn ceisio manteisio fan yna. Rushton eto'n edrych yn fywiog. Unwaith eto cyfle, hanner cyfle falle i'r dre newydd. Ymddiheiro eto yn anffodus. Understand we're still having trouble with the English language commentary. If you're joining us, expecting to hear English language commentary. We are aware of the technical issues. A few gremlins affecting things on this Friday night. Bear with us. Trying to sort it out as soon as possible. Cic hir eto gan Firth. O, chi'n gweld Wild yn ei chanol i fan yna. Oedd gic yn mynd yn ei erbyn e. Wnaethon ni weld y sgwrs fach rhwng fe a'r dyfarnwr, dyw e ddim yn cytuno. Mae'n Jake Walker oedd ar lawr. Allwch chi weld pam oedd Mike Wilde yn holi efallai, os oedd hi'n drosedd. Dre newydd. Yn y crysau oedd hi cartre. Y llwyd neu'r arian, mae'n y gam sefyll fan hyn yn ei herbyn nhw. Yn chwarae ymlaen. Yn un o'r bod yn gam sefyll, ac yn bod yn cario ymlaen i fynd. Ishmael sydd o'r meddiant yn dwyllodrus. Heibio Aaron Edwards, gwaith gwych gan Ishmael. Croesia ddim yn wael chwaith. Nawr, tas y Mike Wilde yn chwarae'r Dre newydd, byddai'n gol i ddim, Jake.
Fysa, dyna union lle fysa Mike Wilde eisiau'r pêl lanio, ond gwaith gwych gyda fo. Da ni'n gweld o'n mynd ar y tu allan ar y troi de ac yn just yn sefyll y pêl fyny, rhoi gyfle i rywun mynd i ymosod ar y pêl yna, ond yn y diwedd drosodd pawb ac ond yn ffodus iddyn nhw, mae gen nhw gig gornel wan ac y bosib bod nhw'n gallu manteisio ar y cyfle yma.
Ismail wedi creu sawl gol yn barod tymor yma. Fe sydd ar gig gornel. Os dim pella. Neb yno. Wel, heblaw George Horan hynny yw. A neb yno i fanteisio i Quay Connah. Mae Quay sy'n arwen y rithyr i fyny'r Quay. Ond oedd yn edrych yn ynysig iawn. Peniad bach i lawr gan Nash. Yn ôl yr eithi. At Andy Firth. 10 munud i mynd. Praen di sgwr. Sears. Un o'r chwaraewyr sy'n ysgol noson brysur ar ran y Dre newydd. Yn eitha bodlon ar 10 munud agoriadol ar hyn o bryd. Di sgwr. Degfed y Dre newydd ar hyn o bryd. Hanner anghywir y tabl, Hayes yn herio. Wel, oedd yn aros y bil fy'n allan. Oedd hi allan yn y pen draw. Araf dros ben. Hayes yn ei ail gyfnod yma. Wedi dychwelyd. Cyfnod gyda Caernarfon. Wedi bod yn y bala hefyd. Ond dal i fynd.
Ac rhywun arall o'r gyngrau sydd efo digon o brofiad. Ydych chi'n gallu gweld y rheswm waith tu ôl ddod o chwaraewr fel fo i fewn. Gen efo nifer o goliach. Mae hwnna jyst yn mynd i helpu Mike Wilde yn ei ffrynt. Lleihau chydig bach o pwysau oddi arno. Ond da ni'n gwybod bod Mike Wilde yn mynd i sgorio digon o goliau ei hunain dros tymor. Ond gwych gweld rhywun arall efo fo.
Holmes a'r tafliad. Edrych yn Wilde unwaith eto. Stratwlis, trwychodrus, clyfar. Ac yn gyflym, ac yn creu am groesiad. Jones allan. Eto, bob tro mor gwr ifanc mae'n cael y bil. Mae fe'n edrych yn beryglus.
Yndi, yn sicr ac chwaraewr canol Quay, ond mae gen i fel bach o bopeth o ran ei gêm. Da ni wedi gweld hyd yma dros y tymor y goliau a safon y goliau yma wedi sgorio, ond da ni jyst yn gweld yma yn cyffyrddiad bach clyfar, heibio'r amddiffynwr. Diolch yn methu cymryd o lawr oherwydd lleoliad lle mae nhw ar y Quay ac yn y diwedd dwi'n siŵr bod o bach yn siomedig John di ffeindio Chris Coch efo'r croesiad yna.
19 oed, allan ar fenthyg. Dysgu grefft o bosib. Am brofiad mae fe'n cael yn y gyngred yma. Cyfle'r Dre newydd. I fygwth o'r amddiffyn cadarn yma. Sydd o ddim yn hoffi ildio. A ddim wedi ildio adre. Ers mis Ionawr. Beth yn y byd mae hynny'n neud o ran hyder unrhyw dîm? Jake, ych chi dechrau meddwl bod chi'n... Sneb yn gallu cyffwrdd â chi?
Yndi, mae'n gwych, a da ni wedi gweld hyd yma wan, dwi'n mwyn siŵr, 4 neu 5 o peli hir, tafliadau, croesiadau wedi mynd mewn i'r bocs. A pwy sydd yna bob tro? Rhif 5 y capten George Horan yn gryf ac isio mynd i benio'r pêl.
Certainly a good start for Newtown, though. There's no doubt in the fact that they will be more than pleased because, you know, if it stays like this for the whole 90 minutes and they left the D-side stadium with a 0-0 draw, they would be absolutely delighted.
Yep, just 1 point above the drop zone. Only 3 wins in 11 games as the ball is aimed long towards Wild. And as happens so often, defender goes down complaining there's been an arm in the face, and Wild's not happy with that suggestion. In the meantime, Ishmael on the run. Ball back by Nash. Firth. Now, that went past Stratoulis. It's a chance for Cowans. Cowans spreads it out. Cowans wants it back. Horan. down towards Stratulis, looks for Hayes. That was an important header there by Mills Evans.
I think the frustration with that pass there, you see the space. Mills Evans heads that ball probably 10 yards into his own box. The space between there and the goalkeeper. You always say with those types of passes, put too much on it. There's so much space for Hayes to run onto.
Now then, yeah, he's unhappy about the complaint.
Yeah, we'll have a look here. The arm certainly goes across, Nick. The left arm, you just see, there's no real intent. He goes up, but we do know these days, usually they are punished.
But he's still complaining at the suggestion that that was an offence, because of course he's very mindful of the fact he's watched for that by referees. Hayes, who's busy. Harrington. Holmes. Hayes. Stratulis and Hayes keeping the pressure. And slowly but surely, perhaps you feel that the Nomads are beginning to take a grip. Good ball in. Bratley. Chance to turn, get the ball in, looking of course for Wild Stratulis on the edge of the box. For those of you joining us on English commentary, very warm welcome to you. Our apologies again if you failed to receive audio. I'm here with former Welsh international Owain Tyneddi-Jones. We're a quarter of an hour into this game between the second from top and the third from bottom. And the second from top in red beginning to take a hold of the game, but still goalless. Aaron Edwards.
Yeah, the game's tight, Nick, but for sure that first 15 minutes is some of the best commentary we've ever done together. What a shame to the nation.
Well, you've not missed a goal. That's the consolation. And Holmes does what Holmes has done many times already in this opening 15 minutes. One throw-in after another. Morris. Stratulis, who's been busy, he's been lively. Harrington. Looks, aims. And that's probably the first effort at goal bar one.
Yeah, I think Harrington, that's one of those where the management team just turn around in disgust and think, what is he doing? The only time they'll praise you for that is if you hit the target and you score. So that's the risk you take. Perhaps he just felt that everything was closed off, but certainly Neil Gibson will just be saying, keep the ball alive, get it out wide, give the opportunity to get a cross in, so that the likes of Mike Wilde can feed in that box. Wrong decision by Harrington, but sometimes why not?
Yep. If you're just joining us, as we say, John Disney suspended tonight in the Nomad side, having received a red card last week. Aaron Williams, we're told, is injured, and so it's Mike Hayes and Callum Bratley coming in to replace them. And then three changes in Chris Hughes's Newtown side, with Callum Roberts, Shane Sutton and Nick Rushton returning. And Louis Robles, perhaps the big surprise, left on the bench this evening. And no real dangerous attempted goals so far. Stratulis, no deflection, goal kick. I like the look of this young boy.
Yeah, there's plenty of energy in those legs. We've seen him a couple of times with driving runs in around the box, and he just feeds. Again, it's an optimistic strike. Very rarely will they go in, but you know, if you don't have a go, you'll never score. I just think that the biggest surprise really is Newtown's formation. We discussed earlier on the fact that we expected them to play with a 4. They've gone with a 3 at the back, and at the moment, although they are slightly more, shall we say, that they're clearing their lines slightly more than we're used to seeing with the Newtown side, Chris Hughes will be happy.
Holmes again aims towards Hayes. Hayes heads down. Wild. Aaron Edwards has the strike, caught it well, struck a defender. Cowans tries to clear, and there's no doubt about it, whilst the first 5 to 8 minutes would have pleased Newtown, slowly but surely the team in second place are getting a grip of this game. Stratoulis again looks for Hayes and Wild.
How many times over the years have we seen this man arrive in the box, the right place, the right time? And do you know what? After he strikes this, good play by Wild, Aaron Edwards, he puts his hands on his head because he knows he struck that pretty well. He had a fair idea that was hitting the target.
Yeah, 1 goal already this season, which means that Aaron has scored in 16 consecutive seasons in the Welsh Premier. And perhaps we shouldn't be surprised that goals are scarce. They're certainly a rarity for visitors to this stadium. 12 home league games, 12 consecutive wins, not 1 goal conceded. It's a remarkable home record. And at the other end, of course, Mike Wild, 5 goals already in the league and 3 in the cup. Back where he enjoyed so many great times. Aaron Edwards gets his cross in. Ishmael. Again, it needs to be more accurate. Stratoulis again. Holmes, good ball by Stratoulis. And that's as obvious a foul by Callum Roberts as you're likely to see.
Yeah, it was a good pass towards Danny Holmes, but more than that, it was good movement by Holmes. You know, he's almost vacating his more comfortable space as a right back to come infield into the centre midfield position there. Very intelligent play. Just comes in, he's looking for a pass here, and Callum Roberts against his former club. You know, there's no question he'll be trying to put in a shift, trying to surprise a few in terms of the result. He was late.
Callum Morris is going to have to take the kick again. The suggestion that he struck a rolling ball. And to say that that frustrated him would be putting it mildly. Another chance, aiming for Aaron Edwards and Wild. Wild gets the head down, of course he does. Edwards goes in, Edwards battles again. And there's a greedy look about Aaron Edwards this evening. Harrington takes the throw quickly. Good vision there. He sees Brackley. Harrington.
Where's Ryan going there? Where's he going?
Good play by Ishmael. Plays well. Morris is the more determined. That's the foul. And head down on the touchline. Chris Hughes knows that these are now difficult minutes.
Yeah, Nash just making the journey up into the box. He'll be looking to get his head either on the first ball or the second ball, which is so important. That is how Connah's Quay operate. Not that first pass into the box. It's who's feeding off the little flicks. Doesn't even matter if it's a Newtown head on that first ball. Very rarely is it not a Connah's Quay player that reacts first.
Harrington leaves it. Stratoulis. Jones did well. He did well. He made himself big. He made himself first.
Yeah, he started this game, Dave Jones, pretty comfortably. He's had a few crosses to keep hold of. I think Newtown will be more than happy.
Yeah.
Chris Hughes will be more than happy. But at the moment, you just feel that it's playing into Connah's Quay's hands slightly. They're starting to squeeze the game. They're starting to squeeze Newtown back. You have to earn their respect slightly with some good forward play as well. We haven't quite seen that from the visitors yet.
Midway through the first half. Just 3 wins in 11 for the visitors so far. 1 win here since 2015. But they did win here last year. That's an untidy push by Jake Walker.
Yeah, no doubt about this one. Right in front of the referee. Walker, just a forearm in the back of Aaron Edwards. There was only ever going to be one result there. But maybe that is part of the plan. Slow everything down. Even if you have to concede free kicks. But as we well know, even from this distance, it gives the opportunity for Horan, for Nash, to make the journey up.
Firth aims for Wild. Wild battles with Sears, and for once it falls to Newtown, and Ishmael takes every opportunity he can. A bit of a tug on Harrington, and it's a good battle there between Ishmael and Harrington.
Yeah, it is, and Ishmael is the player for Newtown who can carry the ball. He can carry the ball distances. He's just brought the ball down there, lovely chest. He's more than comfortable in possession. He's done really well there to win that free kick against Bratley. But he's playing as a right wing back, so sometimes he'll pick up the ball in deeper positions than what he would like as a winger. Definitely a foul there. Good play once again by Ishmael.
Ishmael it is. It hangs. It comes to Horan, of course it does, and Stratoulis comes and brings and controls, and Hayes is in front of him, and charging down also is Brackley. Now who's he choosing? He was caught in two minds. That was poor in the end from Stratoulis.
Yeah, poor, maybe not a poor choice of pass, poor execution, because they found themselves in a 3v3 position there, which will upset Chris Hughes. Just that lack of quality with that end pass. He's disappointed.
And we must be getting close to double figures of throw-ins for Holmes already in what, 25 minutes. And in it comes again. Wild is pushed. Fall is there, penalties given. That seems harsh, but we'll have another look at that. And one can understand the Newtown protest. It's Horan that's gone down. And the referee urged to go and have a word with the assistant referee.
Yeah, a couple of things before seeing it again, Nick. The ref was in a good position, and Horan doesn't stay down unnecessarily. But we see this, it's all about the second ball again. And I think he gets the ball. I think Walker comes across there, he clears with his left foot. We'll have a better angle here now. Horan's just going to come in shot right about now. I can't see how you can give that as a penalty. I said the referee was in a good spot. Is this a better angle? I think he reaches the ball, if anything, makes contact with his own player. That's a poor, poor decision.
When things are against you, things are against you. And Callum Morris it is, who's ready to step up. And that's an unfortunate way for Newtown to go behind, if they do go behind. Oh! And the goalkeeper, Dave Jones, punches the air in frustration because he knows he nearly got there. But controversially, the Nomads lead by 1-0.
Yeah, well, Callum Morris, he must be one of the best penalty takers we've seen in the league. He's very consistent, whichever way he goes. That is one of his favourite sides, actually. But just enough power. Dave Jones does well to read it. He gets down, he thinks early enough, gets a fingertip on it, but there's just enough power with that side foot. Slipping off the grass as well. He's disappointed because he knows that was an opportunity to stop this man from scoring. But we will go back to that decision, I'm sure, Nick, time and time again. I'm not sure what your feelings were on it.
Well, my first reaction was it seemed harsh. And the protests were immediate, weren't they? There's no doubt about it. Horan does not stay down unless he needs to stay down. But that seemed a harsh decision.
Well, I think there's contact somewhere. Whether it's Horan coming in afterwards, maybe Walker has cleared and then a trailing leg, or his own player, possibly who slid in, has made contact with Horan. I just think Walker gets to the ball that early. You can't give a penalty. You can't give a penalty. I just wonder. I'm sure we'll see it again. When that long throw came in, there was slight complaints initially. I think it was Mike Wilde. Yep. Was there a slight push? Did that then seep into the referee's mind, thinking, OK, was that a possible push? So he's looking for something. I don't know.
Yep, and I agree with you. Callum Brackley certainly involved. Horan's own player. He was there as well. And whether Horan partly fell over him, but it's so disappointing for Newtown. And this man, well, he's only just stopped shaking his head. He's shaking it again.
Well, he's probably not seen it back as well, Nick. So he's going off first instinct. Maybe he's listening to a couple of his players, whether they've passed the message. We're not sure what happened. So he hasn't seen it again. So if he's angry now, you just wait.
But there we are, and it's worth saying again, when the Nomads go ahead, it's very, very difficult to snatch a goal back. They simply do not concede goals at home at the moment. A remarkable defensive record, and that's what Newtown have to breach. But for now, they have to defend again, as Stratoulis takes advantage of a quick free kick. Holmes has been in the middle of so much. The ball falls in now then. That's an opportunity for the scorer to score again, and wild and over.
Yeah, he's gone for power there. We always see with his penalties, he places them. He usually goes for placement, and this time he's gone to lash it, for want of a better term. He's gone for the glory, gone for the blast, loses a bit of control over it. But again, it's that ball coming into the box, and then who picks up the second ball?
And just to remind you, 7:15 tomorrow morning in the Women's World Cup, the challenge for Wales against New Zealand, and you can watch that on S4C. And we've got 15 minutes to go, and one thing is for certain: Newtown need to make absolutely sure it doesn't get worse than this. They want to go in no worse off than a goal down at half-time. Firth looks for Wild, Sutton's with him. It's a good battle. Cowans wins that ball. Rushton, he's pulled down. Horan, the offender.
Yeah, it looked like a nice touch. I'm not sure if it was a miss. I'm not sure if Rushton was trying a little trick round the corner from Horan here. We'll have a look here. I'm not sure if he tried to put quite as much on it, but it ended up being a good one. Horan, who probably would have been there if the touch was a little bit closer to Rushton. He would have been first to the ball, but unfortunately for him, does concede the free kick.
Opportunity. Because for all of Newtown's hard work, they really haven't troubled the Nomads' defence. In towards Sutton, it doesn't get to him. Wild was back. Cleared again. Back in by Walker. Sutton and Horan go for the same ball. And Newtown are giving it everything. They want to keep the ball in that penalty box, and Dave Jones is going to have an opportunity to send it right back there. And Sutton has stayed up. Williams has been very quiet, waiting for the knock-on. It's not going to get there. Cowans. And still the big defenders are up there. Horan doesn't win that header, but it goes innocently off Williams for a goal kick.
Probably the best period for Newtown offensively, attacking Connah's Quay. You've said yourself the record Connah's Quay have here, so I understand why Newtown have come in with these tactics. The problem comes then when you concede, and you concede in the first half, and you haven't laid a glove on Connah's Quay, and then you think, what are we going to do now? Because you open yourself up. As soon as you start chucking a couple more players into forward positions, that is what Connah's Quay live for. And this first goal is bad news for the visitors, who will just be looking to get something going in an attacking sense now.
Captain calls for it. Captain receives. And this manager wanted that ball to go the other way. They're going to be very careful here. Aaron Edwards was in. He stayed down as the goalkeeper Jones went to salvage the situation. Back he comes to Stratoulis. Stratoulis just can't find the space to create the shooting opportunity. Does find Hayes. Hayes. Now then, there's a chance here for Stratoulis. Sutton in the end clears it. And it's bedlam in the defence, and the danger still hasn't been cleared. And in the end, free kick is given Newtown's way, and they battled hard there to make sure somehow that they didn't concede again.
Yeah, well, we see the strike coming in, and it's unfortunate because it hits his own player. It's a block by Bratley there. That was going goalwards, certainly, but all of this pressure came. A slight mistake. Mills Evans receives the ball, and instead of opening himself up and looking forward, his first touch is back, And that just invites Connah's Quay to put pressure, to squeeze them once again, to put Dave Jones under pressure, and then all of a sudden your backs are against the wall.
Wild. Harrington. And it really is an option for the Nomads, isn't it, with Hayes playing as well with Wild. Wild penalised there, and it's a yellow card for Wild. And that's how he plays, and that's how he amasses one yellow card after another, and he's going to have to be careful for more than half of this game now.
Yeah, just having a quick look at this one. See the second one, yeah, the elbow's up. There's no movement to go towards the head, but as soon as that ball is in the air, Wild's thinking, right, I'm protecting myself.
Yep.
No one's getting close to me. He uses his arms to get up, but I think when that elbow comes up to that height that early, obviously a defender's going to run into it.
Let's look again at this penalty.
Yeah, long throw comes in. Mills Evans would probably be disappointed he doesn't get his head on that to clear. Just see, it comes off his back, and I'm sorry, I see nothing there. Not a single thing from Jake Walker that spells foul. There's been contact made at some point, as we've discussed. Horan's gone down. There's no dive, absolutely not. But that is not a penalty.
Well, it's not the first time that Newtown have been unfortunate enough to concede a dubious penalty against Connah's Quay. But that's now history. They really have got to strike back somehow. Sutton is up there. It's not accurate enough. Stratoulis goes in, clears, back header. And that ball ran kindly, gave the opportunity for a shot. I think the shot was from George Hughes.
Yeah, seemed to be heading towards the goal. Little deflection to take it out, but that's better by Newtown. And probably for the first time a ball goes in. Who's on the second ball? The visitors. You know, Newtown just seem more alive there. They get on the end of it, and this is a great opportunity.
And again, the big men aimed for Cowans. Oh, unlucky. And goes down by Hayes. Hayes has had a good half. He's been busy. Holland's had a good half. He's been effective. And you need a good delivery here. It doesn't quite reach Sutton. Cowans. Good work from Cowans. Oh, they battled so hard. And if that had been in the air, perhaps Sutton would have been more of a danger. But he's taken every opportunity to go up and to stay up.
Yeah, with the greatest respect to Shane Sutton, probably the wrong person. We just see this cross, very dangerous cross, just tries to get a little flick on it.
Yep.
We see, is it George Horan's arm just getting close to the ball? I don't think he touched it. And then Sutton just not quite able to get a little toe poke towards the goal. But again, you see Connah's Quay play just diving in front of the ball. They battle so hard in that box. There's so much experience in their side. This is what this man's team's up against. So much experience, and they're so consistent with it. Hardly ever make mistakes.
Edwards. Harrington. Again, Hayes goes. Well, it's been a more even contest than many had predicted. There's no doubt about that. But the fact remains, it's a disappointing season for Newtown so far. That's untidy by Nash on Williams.
Good play by Williams there. He just stands his ground. He knows he's going to get a knock. Nash is so eager to win the ball, and he just comes through the back and gives him a little knock on the head as well. Definitely a foul. And again, it's a good example. The last, 5 minutes or so, Nick, yep, where the pressure is built for Newtown from these set pieces.
Ishmael. Once again, an opportunity to put this wonderful defence under pressure. It really will be an achievement if Newtown score this evening. But Mills Evans with the header, and they're coming closer and closer. It's been a good period for them since conceding the goal, in fairness.
Yeah, he's got a run on this, Mills Evans. Decent cross just inside the box. Gets good contact. He'll probably be disappointed he hasn't been able to hit the target, absolutely, but I think certainly a positive from a Newtown point of view, that these set pieces are now coming in, and it's the visitors getting on the end of them.
You really do feel that he should have hit the target, don't you? But they've responded well. Their heads haven't dropped. Sutton and Wild. Wild wins it. Hayes pulled down. No foul. And there are good battles, feisty battles. Aaron Edwards. It's a proper fight. Stratoulis jumps in there. He's penalised. And
I'd quite like to see that.
Yep.
We're going to see it again. You see it. Well, maybe not the tackle.
It seemed to almost a jump in, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure if that free kick went the right way. It was a good contest, a good battle. We like to see it. I did feel that there was a lunge from the Newtown perspective as well.
Nash. Well, Newtown season was transformed last season when Sutton returned, and why not?
Why not? Because he's very unlikely to score, that's why not.
He tried from close range with a clever flick, and he tried a worldie. Cowans, and now aims for Sutton again. Cowans is going to have another chance to put it in. That's not accurate enough for Hughes, and it's a wasted opportunity. And we're into the final 5 minutes of a bruising contest in this first half.
Yeah, no surprise with the type of game we've seen. Seen that long ball coming into the box there. You wonder how much work Connah put in on the training ground, defending their box. If there's a mistake, which rarely happens, by a teammate, somebody else is there behind them to get him out of trouble. You almost sense that they thrive on defending their box. And there's not many teams that enjoy defending as Connah do.
Ishmael, look at 3 onto him straight away. And Callum Morris, well, that's what Callum Morris does. He will fight and he will win and he will stop the opposition.
You said it yourself, Nick, there's 3 of them coming across. Now, if there's 3 Connah defenders we'll see here coming across to stop Ishmael, it means somebody, there's a couple of Newtown players in space somewhere, but they close down with such intensity that there's no space to get out of that hole.
Sutton, Cowans fails to make contact. The scorer, Callum Morris, spreads the ball wide towards Brackley. Brackley and Stratoulis.
Nothing short and easy, no crosses! Come on, no crosses! Good John! Come on!
Once again,
Wait!
it's Holmes with the throw in.
Left, Jake!
Waiting for big men, including Wild, to find their position. Stratoulis didn't get hold of that. All the way back to Nash. Morris, Holmes, Stratoulis. Edwards. It's important that Nash won that. Edwards, Harrington, clever ball towards the near post, pushed by Wild. He's there, he's the man, clever ball in, and Mike Wild, as the goalkeeper came to push the ball away, Mike Wild decided, I'm going to be there first. And now Newtown are in real trouble. Connah 2, Newtown 0.
Yeah, brilliant. Dave Jones is probably waiting for contact, hoping there's going to be a free kick. It's a good delivery, difficult one to defend, but it comes in the box and he leaps so early. But why is the goalkeeper not jumping early as well? I think goalkeeper, the rule is catch it at its highest point, but what George Horan does well is he just takes his pathway. So Dave Jones is trapped. He has no way to come out because Horan's just in front of him, no foul. And then Wild, he doesn't even head it in. It hits his back and goes in. They're just so effective.
Well, I was in the middle of saying Jones is pushing the ball away, but somebody more determined, somebody more aware was there first, and he shocked Dave Jones more than anybody. Half-hearted shouts for a penalty there. Chance to put the ball in again, that's better. Falls to Cowan, he's going to have to hit it, you feel, doesn't get hold of it. Out it comes to Sears. Sears back in again. It's beyond Nash, but Aaron Edwards is going to have a chance to clear this upfield, and he does so. Wild. Good ball, looking for Hayes. And Hayes has been a willing runner throughout this first half.
Yeah, no surprise there, Nick. You mentioned it before. He's a brilliant foil for Mike Wild. We just see here a run. Nah, no penalty there. No. Good play by the midfield player. Stratoulis just comes across, gets his toe on the ball. Really good play. But yeah, there's something old-fashioned about the partnership, isn't there? Wild will battle. He'll be there to hold the ball up. He's always an option. And then equally, if that's not on, if he gets closed off, then they know that the pass is in behind for Mike Hayes. So much experience between the two of them. So effective.
Just the one added minute. And it's been a fast-moving first half. Very few stoppages. The longest stop was the dispute and the protest about that very controversial opening goal. One last chance. Cowan's urged to go back a few yards, and again Sutton in there on the 6-yard line. He's the one. Wild of all people back again. Of course he is. To clear, to help his defence. George Hughes. Good clever header. Falls to Hayes, and he's been all over. He's been all over the place. Watched by Walker. And there we have it. Callum Morris, penalty kick. Mike Wild, an alert header. And despite the best efforts of Newtown, despite their industry, the team who are currently 7 points behind the New Saints lead at half-time by 2-0.
O, dyma fo, look. Ti'n iawn? O'n i'n dechrau poeni bod chdi'n mynd i ddod. Ti'n oce? Ers pryd ti 'di bod yn golffio?
O'n i'n golffio lot pan o'n i'n ogyn bach, a wedyn nes i stopio. Fatha pan o'n i'n chwarae football full time, nes i'n mynd i mynd llawer. Which is surprising, cos dyna beth maen nhw'n neud am fwyaf.
Ie.
Ond dwi'n mynd hanner gyn gymaint o'n a be o'n i. Ond dwi'n mynd i ddechrau eto, dwi'n meddwl.
Cos pan oeddwn ni'n trio meddwl am ffordd o wneud y sgwrs yma, un syniad o gennau oedd mynd â Ci am dro.
Ie.
Oeddech chdi'n dweud bod chdi ofn cwn?
Do, terrified. Dim yn agos at dim un Ci.
Waw,
Dim rili
mae'n
ddrwg.
impressive.
Dim rili
Chwarae
ddrwg.
teg i chdi. Faint wyt ti yn enjoyo dy bêl-droed ar hyn o bryd? Achos gyn rhywun sy'n gwylio, mae'n dod drosodd fel bod chdi'n mwynhau.
Ynddo, obviously, dwi'n mwynhau bod adra chwarae. Dwi wedi arfer bod i ffwrdd o bob nos, so mae'n neis. Fatha teulu gyda di watcho fi'n aml a pobl yn Gynarfon. O'n i bod tromd yn dol i Gynarfon i watcho games pan o'n i adra, so i fod y chwarae nhw, mae'n deimlad da. Os i cefnogwr gorau yn y lig o bellfor, mae pob yn gwybod hynna. Unwaith mae'n cymryd chdi fewn i one of them.
So, yn amlwg, ti'n sôn am y ffaith bod chdi wedi bod i ffwrdd yn chwarae, ti wedi chwarae llawn amser ar un o'r lefelau ucha. Sut wyt ti'n edrych yn ôl ar y cyfnod yna?
I fod yn onest, dwi'n rili meddwl gorfod amdano fo, ond oedd o'n experience unbelievable, ne? Fatha clwb eitha Portsmouth, 20,000 bob wsos. Siarad amdano, rili, mae'n neud chdi sylwi be o'n i'n neud. Os ydw i'n methu rhywbeth chwarae o flaen, 20,000 ydy'r beth dwi'n methu mwyaf. Mae pob meddwl bod professional players living the dream. Swn i'n dweud bod mae yna lot tu ôl i hynna di pobl ni'n weld, ond o'n i yn enjoyo. Obviously, football di'r unig beth dwi wedi gwneud ys dwi'n ogyn bach, so o'n i yn enjoyo fod yn professional, ond fatha dwi'n cofio nath Gaernarfon chwarae yn y final i fynd i Europe, ac o'n i'n gwachad y gem yna, ni fatha reit jealous bod fi ddim yn chwarae. So o'n i fatha, o'n i'n enjoyo bod yn professional, ond o'na rhywbeth bob tro isio.
Eisiau tynnu chdi nôl. Os na unrhyw ddyfaru yna o gwbl?
Na. Na, dwi'n meddwl. Ar eswm eisiau adra, dwi'n ddyfaru. Dwi'n ddyfaru dod adra.
Wyt ti'n fodlon rhannu chydig bach o pam nes ti'n neud y penderfyniad yna?
Ynddo, nath hogan bach chwaer fi gath i terminal tumour. So, unwaith glwys i hwnna, o'n i jyst eisiau dod adra at y teulu a plant fi fy hun, achos pan ti'n clywed beth o fel la. Tos am byd mwy pwysig na teulu. So, todd football just cymryd back seat kind of thing. Ag dwi'n meddwl am bod fi wedi bod adra wedyn am mor hir, to'n i byth eisiau mynd yn dol wedyn a gadael pob arall, so. Mae pêl-droed yn mynd i bod yn distraction pan ti ar y cae, ti'n meddwl am ddim byd arall i bawb chwarae. So ti gael fatha brec o beth sy'n mynd ymlaen, ond ar ôl hynna wedyn, unwaith o'r gêm di gorffan, yr unig lle ti bod wedyn ydi efo teulu.
Dwi'n gwybod na chwarae'n broffesiynol hefo Swindon o ddati pan gafoch chi y newyddion erchyll ma fel teulu am sefyllfania. Mae Swindon mor bell o Sir Fôn yn dydi?
Yndi. 4 awr annar. Wedyn, fysa fo heb di fo'n bosib gael yr amser off. A o'n i isio i fi gael gwario fania. Unwaith ges i'r bad news, o'n i'r unig beth o'n i eisiau gwneud oedd dod dros y tywe, so.
Mae iechyd meddwl yn amlwg yn rhywbeth sy'n cael ei trafod fwy ac yn fwy. Wyt ti'n teimlo bod hwnna'n rhywbeth ti'n trio prosesu a delio efo fo?
Dwi'n meddwl bod fi wedi ddigwydd, ond dwi'n meddwl bod fi'n sbio fatha mwy am chwaer fi na, as obviously he's di gael y full whack sort of thing. So dwi jyst di bod yna iddo hi pan mae hi isio. Ie.
Ond ti'n teimlo fatha i chdi yn bersonol bod yna le weithiau lle ti jyst eisiau gael hynna allan ac alla lle ti'n gael hynny allan ydi ar y cae pêl-droed?
Ie. Swn i'n dweud dwi'n definitely isio cae pêl-droed gan allan weithiau. Pa
mor allweddol ti'n meddwl ydi rôl Hyw fel rheolwr?
Mae Hyw wedi bod yn gret efo fi. Mae wedi helpu fi lot i ddweud ac oedd o'n un o hynna oedd yn ffonio yn gofyn sydd o'n i a mae dal i wneud rwan. Achos dwi'n medru bod yn gwirion weithiau. Ond mae o'n ffonio fi'n aml ac yn gofyn sydd ydw i a dim un oedd i siarad am ffwtbol, mae o jyst yna i siarad am sydd ydw i efo beth sy'n mynd ymlaen a sydd ydw i day to day kind of thing. So i fi mae wedi bod yn dda iawn o fi.
Dwi yn meddwl os ti ddim yn gweithio allan ar y cae pêl-droed am sbel, sa'ch chdi'n iawn yn golffio, sa'ch chdi'n oce, chwarae teg. Impressive iawn, chwarae teg. Wyt ti'n gallu gweld dy hun allan cael dy dynnu tuag at pêl-droed llawn amser?
Os dwi'n mynd gorau symud rhy bell i ffwrdd o'r teulu, fyswn i yn cysidro os fys yna rhywbeth yn dwad, ond swn i'n dweud bod fi'n disgwyl o kind of thing, fatha dwi reit hapus a dwi di acceptio fo'n lle dwi a dwi'n enjoyo fo, so, ond, you never say never, fatha ma'n dweud.
Os wyt ti'n edrych yn ôl ar y 2-3 blynedd dwytha, be wyt ti wedi dysgu o'r cyfnod yna? Sut mae wedi newid y ffordd ti'n edrych ar bywyd di ond o'n Hyw?
Swn i'n dweud bod mae jyst dweud bob dim i fewn i perspectif, fatha chi'n dweud yna. Sa'n pwynt poeni am beth o gwirio, pan mae rhywbeth fel yn digwydd i chdi, sa'n byd arall yn bwysig, really. A mae di neu fi, os rhywbeth mae di neu fi sylwi na rownd teulu ti isio bod mwy na da chi'n wybod weithiau. So, yeah, that's it. Swn i'n dweud.
teimlo fel bod fi eisiau rhoi hug mas yn dwi'n cael. Diolch am fod yma. Dwi dal heb gael gwers gen ti actually. Fy rhaid i chdi dangos i fi wan sut mae'n neud bydd.
Spot on. Right-handed ydych chi, ia?
Gwyn i weld wan.
Reit, gyrfi'n dod ffop.
Ie? Ie?
Ie.
O.
Hwna'n iawn, straight.
Mae'n dal i fynd. Dweud gwir wan, di hwnna'n ofnadwy.
Mae'n iawn.
Ce, I'll leave it to the pros, dwi'n meddwl. Diolch yn fawr iawn.
Afri clywed gan Dion Donahue gyda Nicky John fan yna. Fel un mai ar un o bryd, yn uwch gyngred Cymru JD, dim goliau ar goed yn y parc yn Aberystwyth. Yn y gêm rhwng nhw ar Fflint, 2 gol fan hyn. Connah ar y blaen yn ebyn Drenewydd o 2 i 0. A mae'r dim na yn gyfarwydd iawn o ran yr ymwelwyr fan hyn. A mae'r cwmni'n gyfarwydd iawn o Owain Tudur Jones yn cadw cwmni'n fi. Beth am swing Nicky John ar clwb golf na, Owain?
O, ti'n gwybod be, mae pawb yn gorfod dechrau'n rwla, a be na i ddeud ydy, dwi wedi cael gêm o golf efo Nick Parry, a mae swing Nicky lot gwell. Chwarae teg ydi.
Diddorol clywed chwaraewr fel Dion Donahue fan yn sôn am, chi'n meddwl mae cyrraedd y gêm proffesiynol yw'r freuddwyd i unrhyw chwaraewr, ond maen nhw wedi cael salwch teuluol ac ati, a mae'n braf fod gatre weithiau, mae'n taro chi, mae yna bethau mwy'n digwydd mewn bywyd.
Oes wrth gwrs, a mae rhaid i ni barchu hynna hefyd. Os da ni'n asesu Dion Donahue fel chwaraewr, bob parch i Gaernarfon, bob parch i'r gyngrair, mae'n rhy dda. Dwi'n meddwl sef o'n camu fewn i unrhyw glwb ar y lefel yma, sef o'n cerdded fewn i dîm Seinta Newydd. Ond mae wedi gwneud y penderfyniad bod o ddim eisiau bod yn journeyman footballer fel ambell un yn teithio ar draws o wlad, a mae rhaid i ni barchu hynna.
Ie, a falle dal digon amser i ail feddwl hyd yn oed, a cael ail gyfle falle?
Wel, dwi'n meddwl oedd gwylio Dion yn chwarae yn erbyn Cymru yn erbyn Lloegr blwyddyn dwytha, neu'n gynharach blwyddyn yma, a gweld pa mor dda oedd o'n chwarae, pa mor gyffyrddus oedd o. A dwi'n meddwl o'na rhyw bach o bosib o'na rhywbeth yn mynd i ddigwydd yn yr haf, felly o'n i'n disgwyl i weld o'n mynd, ond yn amlwg mae o wedi gwneud y penderfyniad. O bosib mae dyma lle fydd o rwan. Os mae o'n hapus, dyna sy'n bwysig.
Ie, yna gymryd y sybrydyn ar y pryd. Will Evans gath ei symudiad, ond falle chi disgwyl falle fwy o chwaraewyr gael y cyfle. Gan bod ni'n sôn am Gymru, Cymru Ec i Gymru. Newyddion diddorol heddi, Joe Allen ac ati Abertawe yn sôn, dyn nhw ddim yn disgwyl o fe chwarae cyn cwpan y byd, ond dyn nhw ddim yn golygu na fydd yng nghwpan y byd. Ni wedi clywed Pep Guardiola yn gweud am roi y chwaraewyr Lloegr hefyd yn yr un sefyllfa. Os na lot o chwaraewyr yn mynd i fod yn y sefyllfa yna efallai dros yr wythnosau nesaf yma.
Ie, mae'n mynd i fod yn wythnosau o bryder i lot o chwaraewyr, ond dydy clybiau ddim yn gallu fforddio i adael i chwaraewyr beidio bod yn iawn. Os fysa Joe'n ffit rwan, sef o'n chwarae Abertawe, ond dydy o ddim. Felly, dwi'n meddwl bod rhaid parchu Abertawe fel clwb, Russell Martin fel rheolwr, i ddod allan a deud hynna. Sa'n lot o reolwyr yn penderfynu reit. Os ti'n mynd ffit i fynd i gwpan y byd, aros yma, rehab, gwneud siŵr bod chdi'n hapus i chwarae ni am weddill y tymor, lle ma nhw'n gwybod pa mor bwysig ydy hyn i Joe fel chwaraewr. Cyfle ola. Yr unig gyfle mae'n mynd i gael i chwarae yng nghwpan y byd, felly croesi bysedd, a pawb sy'n gwylio adra, croesiwch y bysedd i wneud yn siŵr fod o'n cael munudau yng nghwpan y byd.
Dwi'n cofio metatarsal David Beckham, a papur y Sun yn rhoi rhyw lun a gofyn i pawb i weddio ac i rwbio'r metatarsal. Newn ni gyd weddio am Joe Allen yn amlwg hefyd. Mae Cymru wedi colli Rhys Norrington Davies wythnos yma, falle ddim yn cael gymaint o sylw a hynny, a maen nhw wedi colli chwaraewr, wel, oedd yn gyffeiliad i'r garfan yn ddiweddar. Yndi,
mae o'n golled. Mae o'n golygu fod yr wythnosau nesaf yn mynd i fod yn rhai pryderus o ran ffitrwydd Ben Davies. Ben fysa'n chwarae yn y safle, fysa Rhys Norrington Davies ddim yn dechrau gem os fysa pawb yn ffit, ond da ni'n gwybod sa fo'n gallu chwarae yn safle Ben, sa fo'n gallu chwarae fel left wing back yn safle Nico Williams, lle mae di sereni Sheffield United, felly mae o'n golled i'r tîm, a wedyn mae rhaid cydymdeimlo fo'r chwaraewr. Gobeithio geith o gyfle arall i chwarae yn y gystadleuaeth un diwrnod, ond mae'n dorcol onest. Oedden ni'n gweld Diogo Jota i Lerpwl wythnos o blaen yn ei ddagra, Rafael Varane, dwi'n meddwl i Ffrainc yn ei ddagra, chwaraewyr sydd mae'n siŵr yn mynd i gael cyfle, neu Varane wedi chwarae o'r blaen. Dyna faint mae'n ei lygu, a dyna y broblem efo cael cwpan y byd yn ystod y geia, yn ystod y tymor, lle dos o ddim amser i gael ei hunan yn ôl yn ffit.
A dyna hefyd, pam ni gyd yn ceisio dyfalu'r garfan, a ni'n gweud yn aml o, mae rhan fwyaf o garfan Cymru yn dewis ei hunan. Wel, ydy, ond eto, dyw ddim, achos mae yna newidiadau, mae yna anafiadau, mae gyfnod nerfus. Os na enwau anusgwyl dal gyda amser i dorri trwodd?
wel, un enw sydd ar wyfys pawb wythnos yma, di Ollie Cooper yn sgorio yn y derby wythnos dwytha. Mae o'n chwarae fel mae di chwarae drwy gydol y tymor, ers torri fewn i'r tîm, mae di adio golia. Ac efo golia, ti'n denu sylw. Felly mae gan fo gyfle, os yw'n ambell un yn methu allan, Ollie Cooper, pam ddim. Ac Ollie Cooper, pam ddim, hyd yn oed os mae yna ambell un sydd ar y cyrion, efallai bod o'n cynnig rhywbeth chydig bach yn wahanol, a dwi jyst yn gwenu meddwl, dychmyga fod yn chwaraewr sydd erioed wedi cael cap, erioed wedi dod i fewn i'r garfan o blaen, a'r tro cyntaf mae hynna'n digwydd, ydy i chwarae'n Cwpan y Byd. Sa'n andros o stori.
Wel, mae'n agosau, mae mor gyflym, a mae'r cyfan yn mynd i fod yn fyw ar S4C. Ni'n edrych ymlaen gymaint am hyn. Mis Tachwedd bron cyrraedd, y gêm gyntaf na bron cyrraedd. Felly, 2 wythnos i nos lun. Dwi wedi bod yn cyfri lawr ysmisoedd ar agosau ni'n dod. Dwi wedi colli trac yn llwyr. 2 wythnos i nos lun. Ni mlaen yn wych cyn ni. Mae'n mynd i fod yn gyfnod yn amlwg yn enfawr. Mae'r gêm yma'n parhau, mae'r gêm domestig yn parhau. Owain, mae rai fi holi am y gic o'r Swatyn. Ni wedi gweld fan hyn. Ni'n mynd i weld i eto. Beth am hon?
Ti eisiau dadansoddiad hir ta byr, oherwydd yr un byr ydy siocar. Mae ref wedi cael siocar yma. Dydy ddim yn drosedd. Mae Horan yn mynd i fewn. Os y gysylltiad yn rwla, oes, ond di chwaraewr o'i hun, dwi'n meddwl. Mae Walker yn clirio'r bêl, a dwi'n meddwl bod y dyfarnwr efallai wedi dyfalu. Mae di dyfalu'n anghywir. Ac i dre newydd, oedd yn ceisio cadw'n drefnus, yn anffodus mae yna wedi costio nhw.
Wel, mae tîm ar y ffordd allan, oedd Morris ddim oedi. Owain, diolch yn fawr iawn am y cwmni. Fydd Owain Tudur Jones gyda ni heno a trwy gydol Cwpan y Byd yn camu draw i Qatar cyn bo hir yn yr wythnosau nesa. Dwi'n mynd nôl i sylwebu fan hyn. Jake Phillips sy'n cadw cwmni i fi. Jake, wrth y pwynt sylwebu yn barod. Y cwestiwn i'n eitha syml. Dwi'n am yn sioc wrtho i, Jake. Oes unrhyw ffordd yn ôl y dre newydd fan hyn?
Be ready. Cheers, son. Welcome back. With me, Nick Parry and Owain Tudur Jones and the Nomads. Connah Nomads leading the visiting Newtown by 2-0. And our colleagues on S4C and the Welsh commentary team have been discussing that penalty kick. And if you want a translation of the word that was being used about the refereeing decision, it's shocker. Same in English, same in Welsh, and that was the firm view of our analysts, which include Jake Phillips, now of Airbus, as well as Owain Tudur Jones. But the damage is done, and the task now for the visitors is huge. And the time has come for them to react. It's a good, positive start. Why not? That's a sign of the message they've been given. You've been hurt, you've been hard done by. Ishmael, go and prove a point.
Well, he's strong on both feet. You see him using his left here. His left to get past the defender. And I think the opportunity was there for the strike with the left. He's such an intelligent player. He's a talented player. He's just done one trick too many there. I think the opportunity there for the strike, he then complicates it and gives himself a tougher angle, if anything. Goes for power with his right. I just think he missed the trick there.
Can I just go back to that controversial decision? I heard you make an observation that perhaps the referee had guessed. Surely you'd err on the side of caution, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would expect so. And again, I don't know if he's guessed. He's seen something. But I did feel at the time that there was a slight nudge on Mike Wilde. And was he thinking, ooh, could that have been maybe? There wasn't quite enough in it. Hey, only the referee can answer that question. But I'm sure he'll look back and he'll be disappointed.
And the scorer of the second goal, a little bit less controversial, although disappointing, equally disappointing from a defensive point of view for Newtown. Wild comes back to assist the defence. They don't need him, do they? Horan gets his head to it first. That's Wild.
I do sometimes think, defending these set pieces, Quay could leave all their players up by the halfway line and leave George Horan in the box and he'd be okay. He's so dominant in the air, still, at 39 years of age.
It's Nash who took the knock. Bratley, one of the changes in the Newtown side for this evening, and we simply haven't spoken enough, have we, from the Newtown point of view, about Bratley and about Williams.
No, absolutely not. I think they've got good depth of the squad.
Yep.
You know, when the likes of Disney misses out, you know, they can have a little tweak of the formation. They've gone with a diamond today. I think what the diamond gives you, Nick, is just control in central areas. What you lack then is width. There's a bit of a big ask on the full-backs. Holmes down one side, Harrington on the other to join up. But in the central areas, you're fully in control.
But the organisation, you've referred to it, they are so organised at the back, and Rushton and Williams, well, they're finding it so difficult. That's offside for Hayes. But he had a really industrious first half. And as you mentioned, means that the pairing up front for Connah is so experienced. Again, Ishmael battles hard. And they just come to a stop, don't they? When it comes to that 18-yard line, really, the visitors are finding it so difficult to cause any problems. Callum Roberts. Hughes. Cowans always looks elegant on the ball, Cowans. And makes himself available. Hughes again. Ball falls to Walker. Ishmael. Back to Walker. Inside is Hughes. They still go outside and they lose the ball, and that's a tug, and that's a potential yellow card. It is a yellow card for Zeli Ishmael. Frustration.
Yeah, frustration. I think it's slightly harsh. Might be wrong. I think Ishmael protecting the ball there. Really good defensive play. There's hardly a tug at all. If anything, the Connah player's been quite clever. Harrington, he's left his arm in there. Slight pull maybe, but no booking. He's probably been their brightest spark at Ishmael on that right-hand side, and playing as a right wing-back. I'm sure if you ask him, he's more than willing to do a job for the team. He would probably rather play higher up the pitch. He'd rather be closer to the forwards, so that he's in the positions to affect the play and create a little bit more often. But he's putting in the shift and getting on the ball a little bit more often.
How difficult is the task for a manager like Hughes to get the players to get over a decision like that penalty?
Yeah, it's very hard. I think first of all, Nick, it's very difficult to be a manager in the position where your team's on a poor run of results, because you're constantly thinking, what can I do differently? Is it the formation? Is it the players? Is it the training? Is it the food they have? You think of everything, and almost you're living in hope that result is going to come. And then when you put out a side and you put out a side in a formation that you think can get a good result, and the decision costs you a penalty early on in the game against Connah, well, you know, it can break your heart, but it's part of the job. It's all about motivation and looking now, unfortunately for them, to take a few more risks, which obviously leave the back door open for Connah to score more goals.
Andy Morrison's got company And it's good to see him here. And John Disney would have been playing, but for the red card that he got in last week's victory at Penabont. Horan finds Holmes. Holmes on the charge. Bratley, nice play.
Holmes is such an underrated player, you know, for the last few years. Before that, at Bangor, he's so consistent, and he's better than a 7 out of 10 every week. You know, he's been a vital player for Connah, as we see this tackle by Connor Roberts. Callum Roberts, I'm sorry, that it is on a booking. He has to be careful going to ground. He fouled that time.
Yep. Wild wants the service. Holmes is capable of providing the service. Bratley offering himself. Wild asks, Wild receives, back to Holmes, chance to put the ball in. Goalie has to keep on his line. And who came in? Aaron Edwards does that so well, doesn't he? Just appears, finds the space, nobody sees him coming.
Yeah, and I think in this Connah's Quay side, he's not one of the biggest, but he's still so effective. He's got a terrific spring, hasn't he? Good cross by Holmes into a brilliant area. There's a couple of them that could get the head on the ball, but it comes down from the first throw. Mike Wild is the only person by that near post area. You've got a man in front, a man behind. He can't be collecting that ball and taking a touch, which is what happened. He got in front of the man. You know, that's poor from a defensive point of view, but obviously it's Wild also using all of his experience, good movement to get to that ball first.
Yep. 1 goal this season so far for Aaron Edwards. No change, by the way, on either side at the interval. And we're bound to see them coming. And Newtown, when you look at their bench, and the obvious change is Louis Robles. Good fights. And corner kick. Nash was the defender there. And the time is coming when you feel Newtown really do need a goal. They've got to take advantage of situations such as these. Ishmael takes the kick, it's not good enough. Service isn't good enough. He's going to have another opportunity perhaps. There with him is Hughes. Ishmael, foot on the accelerator. Oh, good effort. Mills Evans, if that had gone in, that would have been a contender for goal of the season. He caught it beautifully.
He couldn't connect any better. He had a header in the first half, he would have been disappointed. This time, technique, pretty good. Obviously, he's just leaning back slightly, meaning he's not hitting the target. The cross is a bit of a pullback, actually. He honestly would be so... Sometimes you strike a ball as a footballer, and you think to yourself, like when you hit a golf ball, the perfect one, it's almost as if you don't feel it. The technique is that good. That seemed like one of those contacts, but unfortunately just lost a little bit of that control.
Yeah. And total frustration for Newtown.
That ball was on the A55, Nick. He hit it that hard.
Foul it was, but
just needs to be careful, the little ugly fouls. You don't want the referee thinking, okay, as soon as you get that message from the ref, hey, 1, maybe 2 more, just be careful. You don't want to pick up that second booking and then your team is right up against it, because as we've just seen, all it takes is one moment just to get you back in that game.
Mike Wilder stayed down on the edge of the penalty box. He just went down, as if he collapsed onto his knees.
I don't know if he's took one just at the top of the neck area. when there was contact, and he's just decided to take a knee and sit, almost to prove a point to the ref. Hey, this happens both ways. You know, you keep penalising me, but have a look both sides. No fuss. He certainly felt something, a little sore one.
He went down in slow motion. And 9 o'clock, S4C on Monday. Giants of Wales looking ahead and looking at the growth of Welsh football, where it started, where this current surge in success started, and we'll be speaking to people like John Toshak, Brian Flynn, and following the resurgence. That's at 9 o'clock on S4C on Monday night. Well worth a watch. And Roberts pushing further and further, working hard, as is Brackley. In fairness, Sears puts the ball in. Half-hearted appeals for a penalty there. Good save by the keeper. And Ismail again, cut in, as you said, he likes doing, and he held on to that, and he needed to.
Yeah, there's the difference. This time he gets the strike off with his left foot.
Yeah.
The last time he cut back across onto his right. Good contact, Firthers really well. He's both hands on the ball where there's a little kick. There was a question here about a foul, nothing in it for me. Took an arm on the shoulder, and then Ismail.
Yeah. That's the point you were making compared with the earlier opportunity early in this second half. He just took that one extra trick, didn't he?
Yeah, and I think on the left foot there, you've got a couple of options. You can go with a bit more placement, maybe towards the far post, try and bend it in, or you can go with power. As soon as you cut back onto your right foot, you know, the angle is more difficult, and then you've just got the option of power.
Dave Jones looks to be fine. Mike Wilde looks to be fine. And Connah looked to be fine. That's a high foot from Gowans, play on, and in the end, his foul on Horan.
We just see here, there's question marks over the high foot. I don't think it was, and then just a little foul here.
Yeah.
Horan eager to win the ball back, and Gowans just unable to get out the way.
Holmes to take the kick. Almost an hour of the game played. Wild, good header down, clever header down. Stratoulis, who hasn't been as obvious in this second half. Chance to put the ball back in again. Will he go himself? Good save. And who does that fall to? And it falls kindly in the end for Newtown. But we've seen two good saves. Harrington had the strike, and Morris had stayed back, of course, and Morris finds Holmes and Connah, who haven't really threatened in this second half yet. Holmes puts it in, aims for Wild. Good save again by the keeper. And we've seen three top quality saves, really, and two from this man in a minute.
Yeah, that one was a brilliant save, actually. He half thought about coming for the cross. Good contact by Wild, really good save. It's almost his thumb that just gets it away from the goal. But he half thought about coming, as we see the first one. As you mentioned, Harrington cutting in on his right foot, his strongest foot. That's going right in the bottom corner. But I do feel that first cross, he half came and then decided, you know what, I remember the second goal that I conceded. I'm going to stay on my line. Good decision.
Yep, good decision, good save. More defending to do. Good play. Got to be very careful here. Oh, that hit Horan. And these are worrying minutes for the visitors. And Connah have put their foot on the accelerator, haven't they? It's going to be a long half hour now for Newtown, you feel. Up again. Lovely, lovely control by Wild. Lovely touch. Aaron Edwards there to support, as he is so often. And this is a good spell from the team in second place in the Welsh Premier. Morris scored the first goal. Roberts, chance to clear. Cowans And the pressure is increasing. Edwards, Morris.
Yeah, you just feel the sense of blood, don't you? They've been more than comfortable in the first 15, 17 minutes of the second half. Just to not even ride the storm, but allow Newtown to have a little bit more of the ball. They're 2-0 up, they're pretty comfortable. And then when the opportunity comes, it's not one chance. The first chance is followed by the second and third. This is quite relentless and a very difficult period for Newtown.
Yep, relentless is the word. Nice play again by Strasser. He hasn't been as obvious in this second half, but that was good play. And I'm almost sure he hit Horan, his own player there. Morris, the one who always stays back. And you sense the defenders, they just loathe to come back to defend. They know there's a goal in the air here. And it goes, Harrington puts it in. Cowan's chance to clear. It's one-sided now. Good play by Ishmael again. Hughes spreads it wide. It's so difficult for Newtown, isn't it? And they've got to take every opportunity. Rushton.
Well, what struck me then was the fact that Newtown were looking to counter-attack. They were looking to hit Quay with all the defenders forward. In the blink of an eye, almost every single Quay player was back in their own box. You know, the desire to get back into shape, to make it difficult, even when you're 2-0 up. Brilliant.
Oh, there's a chance here again. Hayes has made it 3. And you know what? This is the first time Connah have scored 3 goals since April. And it's over now, you feel, for the visitors, just as they were about to make a substitution. And Hayes has worked hard. He's deserved a goal. And that's the third. Connah 3, Newtown 0.
One long kick, you can't allow it to bounce. One of the centre-halves there, not quite strong enough. The second one certainly allows it to bounce as well. And then Connah are in business. We mentioned earlier they are smelling blood. And look at this opportunity. Just Hayes and Wild just combining together. Wild with a header into Hayes' path. Could have been a handball there against Sears. Ball falls kindly to Hayes, there's no doubt about that. But you know what, if there is a player who deserves a goal this evening because of his work rate, he certainly had lost his boot there in the midst of everything. But yeah, unfortunately, as soon as one long ball comes straight down the throat to your centre-half, somebody has to get their head on it.
That's his 3rd goal this season. And not the transfer that gained most attention over the summer, his move from Carnarvon, as we grab a look at the first substitute of the night, Nigel Harris, making his 7th appearance off the bench. But Hayes made the move, but it's turned out to be a good move by and for Connah. And on the evidence of tonight, he makes life easier and better for Mike Wilde as well.
Yeah, it is a bit of a throwback, isn't it, to see 2 centre forwards, to see one man who likes to hold the ball up. They're not quite a big man and a small man, because they're both of a similar height, but in terms of the qualities that they have, they just complement each other. That would be a handful for anybody.
And the gap at the top closes for now. Nash clears not particularly effectively, and now of course the aim will be to keep yet another clean sheet. Roberts for Newtown. Harris back to Cowans back to Sutton.
Hold that line! Hold that line! Good! Relax, Wildy!
Cowans.
Stay high!
Roberts. And you just sense Roberts' frustration against his own old side, of course. Would like to have made an impression. It's been so difficult. Sutton.
I think the big disappointment, obviously conceding the third goal, but I think Chris Hughes ready to make a substitution.
Yep.
A substitution that hopefully will have an impact.
Turning out to be a good season for Connah's Quay, and of course there's the big one to come on the 12th of November in the Welsh Cup when they play Colwyn Bay, and that game live on S4C. And what a game that will be, with Steve Evans's Colwyn Bay attracting big crowds this season, enjoying big success this season. Nash clears. Not easy for him, Owen. Not easy for him now.
No, as soon as that third one goes in, you know, as unrealistic as it is to believe at 2-0 you've got a chance. But they did have a chance. If you score the next goal, the old cliche, the third one goes in and you know, oh, you know, you just, Camero's in on his face there. It was a look of, he just wants this one to be over.
And although he will rightly complain about that first goal, the important goal, the penalty, he'll be disappointed with the other two. The Wild goal was poor defensively, and one long ball down the middle for that third goal.
Yeah, more than avoidable. I think from a defensive standpoint, you know, you can keep your shape well, but it comes down to basics as well. Dave Jones, he's made some unbelievable saves. He's been so consistent in the league, but he'll feel he was at fault. The fact that he was blocked off by George Horan, unable to come for the cross for the second one. And then for the centre-halves, you know, with all the experience that Mills-Evans and Sutton and Sears, that the three of them have together, they should be getting ahead on that first initial ball.
Nash. And it's, you feel at times, a case of making sure it doesn't become an avalanche of goals. And once again, Stratulis, he's clever, but he's a hard worker as well.
Yeah, really energetic. If you look at this Connah's Quay side, there's so much experience, and you know they are at the wrong age, if you like, for longevity. They're at the back ends of their career. I'm trying to say this in a polite way, Nick. So then you need some lads in the squad to bring that energy, to be able to close down, that infectious quality, and that's certainly what he brings.
And what you do feel is frustrating from the business point of view. So many of the final balls are poor quality, and it gives the Nomads, it gives them a chance to clear. When there's a chance for Newtown, it needs a better ball. Looks for Aris. Rushton does well, gets the ball over. And again, good clearance. Sutton finds Cowans finds Roberts. Aris back to Roberts. Roberts does well. Yeah, the keeper really had to keep an eye on that one, and Firth dealt with that expertly, didn't he?
Yeah, he's a good goalkeeper, isn't he? He's come in. You're thinking, is Ollie Byrne going to be a miss? This man's come in very steady, very consistent. Knew he had to deal with that one. He's probably going to hit the bar, but then cause a little bit of chaos, maybe landing in the box, who knows where. So he did so well. I think for Newtown, I think historically as a club, they prefer it when no one's talking about them.
Yeah.
The successful seasons that they've had, no one has expected that to happen. And perhaps the last couple of years has been more success maybe than usual, and they fully deserve to be playing European football, as we see this foul again by Aaron Edwards. Fully deserve to be in Europe, but then all of a sudden the expectations are different, and they've been unable to cope with that.
Ishmael takes the kick. Wild is back. And there's a chance on the break for Hayes. And how often have we seen him do this? Stratulis trying to keep up with him as well. Still goes, perhaps took the wrong option. Ooh. Oh, now that's dangerous. That's dangerous from Holmes. And there could be, whoa, it's a yellow. But he did seem to jump in there.
Yeah, there was a lunge. I think we were both grimacing, thinking, oh, what's coming out of the referee's pocket here? I think it's the correct decision. It's a feisty tackle. Holmes would probably feel at 3-0 was it a necessary tackle? As we see it again, Hayes, you know, it's 1 foot. The studs are showing, so we've seen red cards given. I personally am glad he's not. He's almost just slowed down a step. You see here, slows himself a little bit before going in. But I think the opponent is going in with a similar style tackle, just reaches there first. The disappointment for Connah's Quay, instead of getting a fourth, Hayes, instead of running straight and allowing the support to come on the overlap, he took that angle up himself, and all of a sudden the chance was gone.
Well, Callum Roberts has left for Newtown, and Anderson Pinto is the replacement for him. And then we have Paulo Mendes to come on for Connah's Quay. And I think it's Mike Hayes, the scorer of the third goal, who's leaving. And another look.
Yeah, as we see here, the celebrations. Mike Hayes, we spoke about him a lot in the 74 minutes that he's been on the pitch. He's worked so hard. And you're right, Nick, you mentioned earlier a signing from Connah in the summer that not many people spoke about. Perhaps he doesn't score you 20 goals, but what he does bring is an infectious quality, that work rate that he brings, and he suits Connah's Quay down to the ground.
So Anderson Pinto on for... I've mentioned Anderson Pinto twice. It's Matty Jones, of course. It's Matty Jones who's come on as a substitute for Newtown. If Pinto came on for Newtown, the Nomads would be complaining, wouldn't they?
You okay, Nick?
Yep. 2 18s. Wrong choice.
I think we've got to, give Neil Gibson a lot of praise. I think he's come in, not difficult circumstances, because this is a very, very strong squad. But I think he wouldn't have expected to be coming to Connah's Quay. Obviously, the changes that happened at the New Saints, when the Craig Harrison left, and then all of a sudden at the start of the season, that could be quite difficult, I think, to get a different message from a different man. Although he's been here and he knows these players inside out, it can still be different to have that new man in charge. And slowly but surely, I'm just sensing that they're getting stronger.
Yeah.
Is the gap too big between them and the New Saints? Possibly. But if there's one team that can go on that consistent run and just slowly cut away at that gap, it is this Connah's Quay side.
Yep. And the gap certainly would have been too big if there'd been anything other than a win here tonight, you feel. And they have achieved the aim, and they've done so, it has to be said, relatively comfortably, despite the best efforts of a hard-working Newtown side. And nothing going right, really, for the visitors. Pitch cutting up, looking a little bit heavy in certain places. This is how it used to be, Owen, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I think if you would have given us this pitch going into November 15, 20 years ago and more, we would have been absolutely delighted. So it's not the worst. I just think it's a sign of where the league has gone with the 4G pitches. Is it the smoothest surface? Maybe not, but it's fine.
Into the last 15 minutes. Goals from Morris, from Wild and from Hayes. Mendes does enough to veer the ball towards Stratulis. Goes himself. Well, this 19-year-old, he really has had a fine game.
Oh, what a strike this was. I was just waiting to see the net bulge. Honestly, good play initially. coming inside on his right foot. He's had a couple of strikes already, and this one, he struck really well. Is Dave Jones standing still because he knows it's going wide, or he knows I've got no chance?
Well, he's been on the goal of the month list for August and September, and was aiming there, I think, to get on the October one. Still October one, isn't it?
Yeah. Good strike. I remember a goal, I think it was the opening day of the season a couple of years ago against Bala. Samrandul, I think it was. Late on with Connah trailing. There was a similar strike, maybe a little bit further out, right into that top corner. I thought we were going to witness something similar.
Just to remind you, all of the goals, all of the highlights at 10:30 on Monday night on S4C. And 3 goals to see from this game so far. And I'm just about to be made a happy man because Anderson Pinto is going to come on. I'll probably call him Matty Jones, but ball aimed towards Rushton.
Was he off?
Pinto to come on, and it's Strutterlist to come off, and it's an opportunity, well, to praise the young boy.
Yeah, he's done well. He would have liked to have seen this substitution happen, and he'd be coming off to a round of applause after scoring an absolute screamer. Not quite to be, but he's worked hard, but he's more than that. You know, it'd be wrong to just describe him as a hard-working player. He's got quality as well, and he fits in really nicely into this Connah side.
Yep. Word of advice, and it's good to see, even at this late stage of the game, he didn't want to leave the pitch, did he? Didn't want to come off.
Yeah, a couple of big games coming up for Newtown now. The fixture list over the next couple of weeks, you're looking at a home game against Airbus, Aberystwyth in the Cup, Flint away, and Carnarvon away. You know, this is certainly that next one. All they can do is focus on that Airbus game. That is a big one. That is a big one for Chris Hughes. He'll be looking to collect all 3 points and hopefully looking to kickstart the season.
Mills Evans. That's a clever little ball. Good save. Are they going to concede? Must be offside, surely. It's not offside. It's not been given. And the Nomads have conceded a goal for the first time in 13 home games.
Yeah, the questions are there about the offside. I think it should have been a penalty before that, actually. It was a really good run, a good strike, and then he reacts pretty well. And you see just a little pass to the left-hand side. If that didn't go in, I would have thought there could have been a shout for a penalty. Really good strike, reacts really well here. Have a look. Goalkeeper comes out. And that's disappointing from a Connah point of view. You would think a consolation, Nick. But hey, you never know.
Well, Williams has been quiet tonight, hasn't he? Williams has been quiet. And there were strong protests, but it was a correct decision, wasn't it?
Yeah, correct decision. There was questions over an offside. I don't think there was.
Nope.
Firth is probably thinking, OK, at least well, he was fuming, actually. He's conceded. He would have liked that clean sheet. Of course he would have. What you don't want is to concede the penalty. Is the implications of a card, even a yellow one. Just a little bit of glimmer of hope now, because that Airbus game that I just mentioned, if they go into that one having, well, completed a miraculous comeback, confidence levels will be slightly different to what we expect that they would be.
Well, it's been about 19 hours since Connah conceded a goal here. And Aaron Williams, who really has had a quiet evening, has spoiled that record. And the last time Connah did concede at home, they conceded 3 goals. But that really would be dramatic. But that's a 9th goal of the season for Aaron Williams.
I think there's a sense, Nick, that Connah aren't overly concerned. You see there the long throw. George Horan is still making the move upfield. You know, it's not as if they're thinking, right, nervy, let's keep it tight, let's keep a couple of fellas, keep the defenders back. They're still chasing the next goal.
No, the evidence of what we've seen this evening, you really wouldn't expect them to be nervy. They really are in control of this game, aren't they? But that'll be a small consolation so far for the visitors. Mind you, if they were to get another one, it would be different. But Connah go again with Pinto. Edwards. Harrington. Aiming towards Mendes. Once again in hard was Callum Morris on a yellow card. Aberystwyth, by the way, have just taken the lead in the other game this evening against Flint. Aberystwyth are 8th, Flint are 7th at the beginning of this evening's match. And Aberystwyth have won their last 3 games at home. So that would be a good result for them. Jack Thorne is the scorer of the first goal in that match.
Yeah, Matty Jones here, the former Aberystwyth player. Bit of a hero down there. You'd be thinking, was it the right move to come over here to Newtown? Seeing that his new club are struggling at the moment. But I do expect them to improve, Nick, honestly. Under the guidance of Chris Hughes, so much experience, so much knowledge of the league. Tactically, a very good manager. They're just having a bad period. That's my feelings. And obviously, Barry going down last year proved that nobody expected that. Anything can happen. But I do expect this Newtown side to improve, certainly with the players they have at their disposal and who's in charge.
They do have a good manager and they have good players. Mendes on the turn. Pinto. Wild ahead of him. Pinto goes in again. Firm tackle, but the pressure's still on. Mendes spreads it out. That's a dink from Mike Wilde. And Dave Jones was fortunately well positioned. Last 5 minutes of the 90 now then. There was a charge in there for Aris. Ball had to be cleared.
Yeah, you just see Mike Wilde. Good play by Mendes. Nice cushion pass. There's only one thing in his mind. I don't think he's going for the dink, like a little chip. I think he's going towards that the top corner, the far post. Just doesn't quite get the contact that he wanted. Maybe a slight bobble. I'll do him a favour here, Mike Wilde. I'll say there was a slight bobble. And he knows, not quite the contact he wanted.
But a remarkable, remarkable servant for so many clubs.
And he still looks exactly the same. As when I played against him, he was playing for TNS. He would have been, I'm sure he's older than me. I hope so.
He is.
What a servant he's been. And the fact that he still looks the same, he still plays the same, it's all credit to him.
Yep. I think there's a comfortable 12 months between you, all right?
I don't know how he keeps his hair so dark. There's question marks over that, that's for sure.
Holmes. Mendes. He'll always make life difficult for you. He's strong as well. And he's not penalised there. Looks for while just behind him. And Mendes is a strong player to have on your bench. Aris out towards Matty Jones. That's a fine tackle by Nash. And that's a sign, isn't it? You're 3-1 up, 3 minutes to play, and you still give it your all in a tackle like that.
Yeah, it's that mentality as well, Nick. No surprises with Connah. But Nash has been a good signing. You know, when you're a new signing for a club like Connah, there's standards that you have to reach very early on, and he's certainly a player that obviously has taken to the standards that there are at this football club, and he's a driving force at the back there. Certainly long term as well. How long is George Horan going to carry on? Who knows? We've got an able replacement there long term for the club at the heart of the defence.
Again, determined run by Brackley, and the work ethic here, well, you can't doubt it. And in fairness, the effort of Newtown, the effort has been there, but they've made mistakes. They've also had a stroke of bad luck, but they've really not looked as if they're going to ever take charge of this game. And too many passes like that, wasteful passes, giving away possession. And Brackley finds Pinto. Harrington. I like the look of this lad. He's lively there. He's had a stroke of luck there, but he's done well. Doesn't find Mendes with the final pass, but he's an asset down that side for Connah. Poor ball again. Gives cheap possession to Wild. Outside Wild is Brackley. Brackley back to Holmes. Morris. And it's a matter of seeing this game out now. It's going to be yet another home win. Harrington. And Jake Phillips, who's with our Welsh commentary colleagues, has given the Man of the Match award to Mike Hayes, Owain.
Yeah, you could have picked a couple, but I think his work rate, the fact that he got his goal as well, yeah, fully deserved.
Wild leaves it on the call of Aaron Edwards. Didn't quite work, and Newtown get it away. And we're simply waiting to see how many minutes are going to be added on, maybe 3 or 4, mainly because of the substitutes. 4 minutes indeed it is. Mendes and Pinto work together.
Yeah, Mills Evans, he actually succeeded with a very similar tackle early on in the game. Just see here, yeah, it doesn't quite make it contact. He's fortunate that it is a yard outside the box, no penalty.
And it's Macaulay Taylor to come on to replace, I think it will be Zeli Ishmael, but maybe not happening yet. There's a free kick to defend. Harrington. And I'm not quite sure why they feel they need to go to the corner when they've got a comfortable 3-1 lead. But probably a chance to try it out.
Yeah, I think as a side, very professional, get the job done by hook or by crook. And they just feel, hey, Newtown are not going to score 2 goals in 3 minutes, but we're not even going to give them a glimmer of hope.
No, and it's 18-year-old Macaulay Taylor who comes on for the visitors. That's his second appearance in the Welsh Premiership.
Yeah, it might feel like a small thing, but as a young lad, even if you come on for a couple of minutes, having been there myself, I still remember coming on, hardly touching a ball. When you're starting out your career, it's a big deal, especially when you're playing against the likes of Connah, and he will know that these lads have won the league before, that he's coming up against a good side. Good experience for him.
And once again, the size of the crowd will undoubtedly be a matter of comment, but the faithful who have come really have seen a comfortable home win this evening, it has to be said. Positives for Newtown, Owain?
So they play Airbus next, a very winnable game for them.
Yeah.
I think that is a positive. This was always going to be a difficult night. I think that was reflected in how they lined up. Good tackle there. As they lined up, you know, quite defensive, and you can understand that. Better days are to come. I think that's the best thing I can say for Newtown. And in terms of the crowd, Nick, well, as soon as they heard you were commentating, of course they were going to stay home.
Referee there doesn't see a foul there. Many of us did. Aris gets away with that one possibly. And Sears passes back to Dave Jones, who's had a mixed game, very, very fine second half. Will still be cursing that second goal that probably meant that all hope was over for the visitors. And in Andy Firth here, we haven't spoken much about him. He hasn't had that much to do, but he's a good acquisition in goal for Connah. And the consequence of this, well, that's the bottom six. That's a live table, and good result for Aberystwyth as things currently stand. They're opening a gap there, and there we have it, just the 1 point still, and 1 game extra played by Newtown above Pontypridd. Foul conceded.
Yeah, just a late tackle there. The referee decided there was enough to give the free kick to the young lad here. Yeah, it was a late one by Pinto there. It is a free kick. Probably not enough time to do much with this. Maybe, yeah, it's too far out for a strike, absolutely. But the quality that Matty Jones has in that left foot wouldn't surprise you. Actually, I think it's it is Matty Jones. You'd expect him to find his man here.
Not quite good enough, not quite good enough, and there's a shake of a head, not for the first time, but Chris Hughes, good strike. And once again, Andy Firth able to stop that shot from substitute Taylor. Aaron Edwards gets the ball away. A little bit of drama at the end for Newtown, but the reality is they've been comfortably beaten here. A handshake between the two managers, and Connah Nomads, who were 7 points adrift at the beginning of this encounter, win, having the first goal scored from the penalty spot by Callum Morris, second goal from Michael Wilde, a mistake there by the Newtown goalkeeper, and then his striking partner Mike Hayes got the third. And the final result here at Connah is Connah Nomads 3, Chris Hughes is Newtown 1. From Owen Jones and myself, good night.